Hey everyone, I thought I'd show you some brazin today. Anyways, what am I brazing? Well, I got me a diesel truck and I don't know how they expect you to use this thing to fill it if you have an accessory gas can. You're supposed to hold up 40 pounds of fuel and then shove this in the hole. It's not long enough to make it past the double outletted thing that a lot of modern diesels have. And then you got to press down this incredibly difficult spring and hold it there, otherwise the thing keeps turning off. I'm sure this is for somebody's safety, but it's about the most frustrating fucking thing you could ever use. So anyways, I have made myself a little old school, doesn't have a valve type thing. I machined a thing, I don't know what to call that, and some stainless steel tubing. That's going to get brazed in the end of that, and that will go on the end of my attachment and be screwed on, and this way I can just pour fuel like God intended without any of the safety garbage. So anyways, since I'm going to braze this, and why wouldn't I TIG weld this thing? Well, I'm a better brazier than I am a TIG welder. But on top of that, this is a piece of 303 stainless steel, easy to machine, impossible to TIG weld. Brazing is the answer here. So anyways, I thought I'd just run you through this, and got my little piece here, and I got all this cleaned up and prepped. But what I'm going to do here is give this some flux here. All right, fluxy flux. All right, guys, a lot of mistakes happen here when people are really too shy with the flux. Yeah, I don't really know what's up with that, but you just spend a lot of time and money making something, you might as well flux it up. So I'm going to actually flux, I don't know how this camera's pointed the right way, but I'm going to flux the entire part. Why? Well, if anything, it'll just reduce the stain that I have to deal with later. So that's less work for me. Plus it gives me a little extra cushion just in case something starts going south. We can, bring a little flux into the zone, if you will, and get her done still. So anyways, here we go. Got that lined up. Let's see here. Hold on. Good. All right. So now I'm going to put on my sexy glasses here. You only need a lot of guys just like to use sunglasses. That'll work great for silver brazing. It's not very hot stuff, so that should work out nice. We got ourselves a torch. Got my silver over here. This is a number 2. That doesn't mean a lot. This is a blue feather torch, and a lot of torches have different tip sizes and stuff, but I think the takeaway here is going to be that you're going to see like what kind of flame I use to do things like this, similar to like a fork crown or something. I see a lot of stuff on the internet, and people are kind of pussyfooting around and getting the small stuff, and I don't really get it. It doesn't really work all that well, as you're about to see here. So got all that. So we're going to start the preheat here, and even that during that portion, I'm going to make sure that I am resetting my torch if necessary. And of course, we've got this giant slug of a thing that I made out of stainless, and a thin stainless tube, relatively 049. And, so that's going to mean that I got to put 90% of my heat into this slug here. Now, silver brazing is often done at a distance, but the reality here is I got to pour some heat into here. I'm using acetylene, so this is going to work pretty well. But nonetheless, it's going to take time, guys. A lot of people rush this, and you just got to let the heat build. No point in, trying to blow it. Of course, I usually do this on the fast, but it still takes a few minutes. If you hear that sound, it's because my oxygen rag is meeting its maker soon. So nonetheless, though, it'll make it through a couple more. So I'm starting to get some heat into this base piece. How do I know? Well, I'm looking at the flux. So the reality is it's got 3 or 4 different zones it can go through. You know, I'm maybe in like zone 2, 3 right now, and when it's ready, you know, it'll be completely glossy and shiny, and that means it'll be time for me to add some silver in there. Okay. So yeah, I am getting in a decent heat here. So what I'm going to do here is start waving my hand around. This is another big one. People stall. The reality is I'm trying to be the oven. I'm trying to do this as evenly as I can. So you want a nice even heat in this. You don't want the hand to stop. Right? I got to get up on it nowadays because my vision's garbage. So anyways, you know, I keep moving around. I'm looking for those flux changes. And when I think it's time, I'm going to add a little bit of silver here. And follow that stuff all the way around. Let's see if I can get a little more. I'm just going to kiss it right there. See what happens. Okay. That was it. So exciting, huh? So the reality is brazing, silver brazing like this can be a fast endeavor, guys. Yeah, a fast endeavor. There's no reason to be swishing all over the place and doing that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'll come back and show a couple of pictures of the final product once it's cooled off and got it soaked. And hopefully this works well so I can pour my gas. All right, guys, thanks.